All right, Shalom Akim, Shalom. Let's start off as always by giving all praises, honor, and glorification to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rucha Kudash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who teach well and rule well, and Shalom to the elect. This is the Brother Zakar from the Great Millstone Montreal branch. And this lesson is going to touch on a particular event that happened in history, the history of the Israelites, a recent history. Okay, namely in the 1800s, and that particular event is called the Trail of Tears. Now, I'm going to bring out some information out of this book, Black Indians, A Hidden Heritage, about William Loren Katz, okay, and of course bring out some precepts, and Lord willing, this will be edifying, okay. So let's start off in the book of Daniel, chapter 9, and I'll start at verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. Right. So the reason why curses have come upon us, okay, as a people, is because of our disobedience. Okay, the disobedience to the word of Yahweh Shai Shai. By departing from Yahweh Shai, well, evil came upon us. Okay, verse 12, and he hath confirmed his words which he hath spake against us, against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. Okay, and Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, and it's referring to Israel. Okay, so no other nation has gone through what we have gone through. Okay, no other nation has suffered, have gone through tribulations, have gone through hardships as the nation of Israel, as it says, for under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. Okay, now because of our disobedience, the Lord gave us over to the wicked. Okay, okay. As it says in the prayer of Azariah, 1:9, it says, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, all right, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. And it's referring to the Edomites, okay, and they have done unto us as it pleased, okay, as the scripture says, they will have no regards against the old or the young, okay. So let's get into this information about the Trail of Tears, okay. So once again, this is taken from the book Black Indians, okay, A Hidden Heritage by William Katz. All right, so it reads, the Trail of Tears. For white, so-called white U.S. citizens in the eastern states, problems presented by Native Americans were solved in a single dramatic stroke by the Indian Removal Act of 1830. Okay, now mind you, Israelites were in this land in the Americas before the Edomites came. Okay, before the contemporaries of Christopher Columbus came into the Americas. Okay, and the islands, the Israelites were there before. Okay, it tells you about that in the book of Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, how we came into another land where no man dwelt before. I'm roughly paraphrasing. Okay. So these Edomites, by the wicked decrees, came up with the Indian Removal Act. Okay. So once they came into the land, okay, they pushed us out. They pushed our brothers out. Okay, mainly of our brothers of the Northern Kingdom. Okay, which came into land before. Okay, which were in the land before them. Okay. So yeah. So it says problems presented by Native Americans were solved in a single dramatic stroke by the Indian Removal Act of 1830. It provided for the mass deportation of the five nations from their huge fertile homeland in the southeast. Now the five nations were the Choctaw, Chickasaw, the so-called Seminoles Indians. You had Cree, and then you had uh you know what? Let me five, Muskogee. Okay, all right. So or Creek. Oh, so it's Cherokee. Okay, so I believe I mentioned Creek, but it's Cherokee. So Cherokee, Choctaw, Creek, Chickasaw, and the Seminole. Okay, those were the five so-called civilized tribes. Okay, all right. So it says here it provided for the mass deportation of the five nations from their huge, fertile homelands in the southeast. Okay, now scripture study that nothing is new under the sun. Now, what are we witnessing right now? Okay, a lot of the people from the uh, northern kingdom are being deported back to their country. Okay, because they're calling them illegal Indians, but mind you, this land belongs to our brothers of the northern kingdom. Okay, the Americas. Okay, the Israelites of the northern kingdom were here before. So, who is Esau to dictate? Uh, that that let's say the Mexicans or aliens or the uh, Brazilians or Guatemalans or Venezuelans are illegal. Okay, well that goes into the pride of Esau. Okay, this is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand," right? Because they're in power currently, so they devise wicked devices. Okay, and they covet fields and take them by violence. All right, so this is an example. Okay, the Indian Removal Act. Okay, the mass deportation of Israelites from their own land. Okay, and they covet fields and take them by violence, right? So that's how they took the land, by way of violence. Okay, Andrew Jackson, which was one of the leaders of the United States of America, he was known as the Indian Killer. Okay, he was also a slave owner. Okay, so they covet fields, or they covet land, and they take them by violence. Okay, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Okay, and your the land is also part of your heritage. Okay, all right, but they take that from you. Okay, um they leave you destitute. Okay, Job 20. I think it's yeah, this is Job 24 and verse 2. Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. You see, so they take you out of your land. Okay, um and they take away your resources, man. You know, scripture says that they call the lands after their own name. So here it is. It's not even their own land. They take you out and then they call it theirs. Okay. It says they turn the needy out of the way, the poor of the earth hide themselves together. That's when the wicked is in power. Okay. Okay. It says here, verse 9, they pluck the fatherless from the breast and take the pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing, and they take away the chief from the hungry. Okay. Job 24 and 9. They pluck the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge of the poor. Let's read that in the NLT. Okay. All right. So these Edomites, they show no mercy, man. Okay. Even the little that you have, they'll take it from you. Job 24 verse 9 says, "The wicked snatch a widow's child from her breast, taking the baby as security for a loan." The poor must go about naked without any clothing. They harvest food for others while they themselves are starving. Okay? All right, so let's go back. It says some 60,000 red and black men, okay, and women eventually deposited on lands. Okay, excuse me. It says some 60,000 red and black men and women were eventually deposited on lands in Arkansas and Oklahoma that whites considered uninhabitable. You see? And when you watch the movie, what's that? That movie about the so-called Native American that Martin Scorsese did. What's called, bear with me. Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon. They have put the which this is set in the 1920s. Okay, but it's just an example. They have pushed the the Israelites, which I believe they were Gadites, into Oklahoma, and then and it said that the land was was it wasn't a good land. In other words, like the scripture says, uninhabitable. But it turns out that there was oil in that land. And what did the devil do? Once they found there was oil, they came and started um killing the people that killing the Israelites over there, man. Okay, and taking their rights. Okay. It says here, Osage Nation elders bury a ceremonial pipe mourning their descendants' assimilation into white American society. Wandering through their Oklahoma reservation during the annual flower moon phenomenon of fields of blooms, several Osage find oil gushing from the ground. You see, so they have found oil. Okay, the tribe becomes wealthy as it retains mineral rights. However, the law requires court-appointed white legal guardians to manage the money of full and half-blood members, assuming them incompetent. You see, so that's Esau. Okay, trying to assert his dominion, and and power over the people. You know, so it says they were eventually deposited on lands in Arkansas and Oklahoma that whites considered uninhabitable. Removal meant more than a change of geography. Fragile cultures were uprooted by army troops and driven to an alien climate and location. For Cherokees, it was murderous. It was a murderous trail of tears. President Martin Van Buren ordered 7,000 soldiers under General Winfield Scott to move a nation of 14,000, excuse me. Homes were burned, livestock, tools, printing presses, and personal possessions seized and destroyed. You see? So that's how they dealt with the native of the land. Okay, they destroyed their belongings. Okay, and they moved them from one location to another. Okay, which is completely wicked. Okay, all right, and they're going to be judged for that, man. Okay. It says Cherokee men, women, and children, including 1,600 so-called black Cherokees, were prodded westward in midwinter by federal bayonets. You see, during the winter. Okay, about 10,000 Cherokees survived. But President Van Buren assured Congress that their expulsion had the happiest effects. The Cherokees, you see that? They had the happiest effects. Okay, so once again, they have no mercy. Okay, the Cherokees have immigrated without apparent reluctance, or well, they were forced to leave their land. okay, in midwinter, man. Okay, so harsh conditions. Okay, through harsh conditions, man. Okay, which caused which I wrote some notes, says death by starvation, disease, and extreme exposure to the elements. You know, so a lot of the Israelites died, man. Okay, during that that mass deportation in the Indian Territory. The five nations, decimated by their deadly journey, faced a wilderness. Clearing was necessary before settlements could survive. Those who had left their dead on the long trail across the south to the Mississippi and beyond now had to turn to building new homes. Only a rich cultural heritage and strong families provided the fortitude necessary to sustain nations. On their new lands, Indians faced new assaults. Whites, seeking to profit from their misery, appeared in their camps with products to sell. Okay, so once again, they try to make profit off you, man. Okay, you know, it's constant oppression, man. Okay, that our people had to endure under the hands of the wicked, the Edomites. It says Native Americans became more dependent upon white goods and values. Well, what is that? That's Deuteronomy 28. Okay, Deuteronomy 28 and verse maybe 40. 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things. You see, so now we have to become dependent upon our enemies for all things, man. Okay, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Okay, so that's clearly speaking of the Israelites. Okay, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says here, Native Americans became more dependent upon white goods and values. Government Indian agents regulated their lives and paved the way for other intruders. Slavery became even more entrenched. See, so the Edomites also planted agents, okay, so-called Indian agents into our people, okay. So they basically could run things and just bring back information to the enemy. Okay. All right. So nothing is new under the sun, man. There were agents before. Okay, and there's agents now amongst our people, man. Okay. Among my people. This is the book of Jeremiah 5 and verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait at sea that set snares. They set a trap. They catch men. Okay, so you have wicked men amongst our people as well. Okay, we see that also in the book of Maccabees. You know, wicked Israelites, man. Okay, that are doing the wicked's bidding. Okay, our enemy's bidding. Okay, that's what the Lord even said. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. Okay, he was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, for he is a liar and the father of it, man. Okay, so a lot of you have some of our people that are agents for the wicked, man, doing the wicked's bidding. Okay, it says here, as a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxing rich. They are waxing fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. Okay. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 23. Thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. Okay, so they're companions with the wicked, man. Everyone loveth gifts. Okay, they're taking bribes, they're taking gifts, and falleth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. All right, so they're enemies to Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. They've sided with the wicked. Judgment is coming. Okay, Government Indian agents regulated their lives and paved the way for other intruders. Slavery became even more entrenched. Okay? The Indian agents sent by Washington openly encouraged slave holding. You see, so even they encouraged slavery amongst our people. And I remember reading that amongst all the five civilized tribe, so-called civilized tribe, only the Seminoles were against slavery. Okay, it says, soon two distinct classes based on slave ownership divided each Indian nation. Mixed bloods owned slaves and usually had some white ancestry, right? So a lot of them were terrorists, actually. Okay, you had terrors amongst our people too, you know. Okay, and terrors is a terror is an Edomite that looks like an Israelite, okay, or like an Edomite, a so-called an Edomite that looks like a so-called black person. Let's say it like that, you know. Okay. So mixed bloods owned slaves and usually had some white ancestry. Though a minority, they felt both of these facts made them superior fit to rule. This also meant the amount of white blood was a positive, much as the amount of black blood was a negative. Full bloods formed the majority, but because they had no white blood and held no slaves, they had little power. Okay. It says between 1830 and 1860, the population of the four nations declined sharply. Cherokees by 31%, Choctaws by 27%, Chickasaws by 18%, and Creeks by 43%. At the same time, the number of members with white blood increased, and so too did the number of slaves each nations held. By 1860, Cherokees held 25,011, Choctaws 2,344, Creeks 1,532, and Chickasaws 975. Slavery had become the major economic and political factor in these nations. This meant that their racial thinking was approaching that of the white South. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to bring out this this information on the Trail of Tears. Let's see. Bear with me. It says here, the Trail of Tears was the forced displacement. This is on Wikipedia. The Trail of Tears was the forced displacement of about 60,000 people of the five civilized tribes between 1830 and 1850, and the additional thousands of Native Americans and enslaved African Americans within that were ethnically cleansed by the United States government. Reading on, it says, as part of the Indian removal, members of the Cherokee, Muskogee, which is Creek, Seminole, Chickasaw, and Choctaw nations were forcibly removed from their ancestral homelands in the southeastern United States to newly designated Indian Territory, and newly designated by the oppressor. Okay. Esau Edom, so he basically pushed them into reserves, reservations. Okay, but guess what? If they found any types of resources in that land where they put them, they would steal those resources, man. You've seen that in the movie. Once again, like I mentioned, Killers of the Flower Moon. Okay. It says, to newly designated Indian Territory west of the Mississippi River after the passage of the Indian Removal Act in 1830. The Cherokee removal in 1838 was the last forced removal east of the Mississippi and was brought on by the discovery of gold near Dahlonega, Georgia. You see? So because what? They found gold over there. Okay? They found gold, so they told them to move. Okay? In 1828, resulting in the Georgia Gold Rush. Okay, as the scripture says, he coveteth greedily all the day long. Okay, all right. There's a major judgment. Okay, coming upon these Edomites, man. Okay. All right. Scripture says that the Lord requires that which is past. All right. It says here, the relocated peoples suffer from exposure, disease, and starvation while en route to their newly designated Indian Reserve. Thousands died from disease before reaching their destination or shortly after. Okay. A variety of scholars have classified the Trail of Tears as an example of the genocide of the Native Americans. Others categorize it as an ethnic cleansing, right? So, and it is a genocide. Yep, it is a genocide. Genos meaning going back to the word genos meaning race, side meaning a killing. So they try to kill off a race. Okay. Well, guess what? The Edomites are the ones that are going to be killed off, man. Okay. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Chapter 30, verse 16. It says here, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Alright, so yeah, once again, I just wanted to bring out this information. Okay. The times that are coming are going to be even worse. Okay. The scripture says that it's a time unlike any other time, the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. Jeremiah 35, verse 7, since we're in the same chapter, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The elect are going to be saved out of it. Okay, but it's going to be a time unlike any other time. So times coming is going to be worse than the time of the Indian Removal Act, the Trail of Tears. Okay, where thousands died, man. All right. So let's end off by giving all praises, honor, and glorification to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. The belongs to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect.